Alright, hello everybody and welcome to another Minecraft Musings. So, I'm still, oh yeah, there's that thing. It's now become a monstrosity. It was the dueling fates, and actually, for the sake of making shorts, let's back up a little bit so you can see the whole thing. There you go. Anyways, that is in case I make a short. I may or may not, but I've been trying to go back through my videos and make the shorts that I keep promising. But good news, everyone. Um, I did log into my account. Now I'm still not logged in. Um, I've actually been kind of impatient with it, and so I figured it out though. I mean, I logged into the correct account, and like I mentioned in a past video, I'm not super worried about the security aspect of it because all of my accounts are protected with multi-factor. So even if somebody got my password or someone hijacked my session or any of the malicious things that people could do or try to do with these accounts, it doesn't matter because multi-factor is still set up, and not just multi-factor, like not just the defaults, like to a changed one. So, and really having multi-factor on anything shuts down the majority of attacks. Not all. I mean, you're not completely safe just because you got multi-factor. And there's ways that multi-factor can be done incorrectly or maybe not as optimal as possible. So, I don't know. I'm not there yet, and I actually have to do what's known as, or well, what you can think of as like pruning. You got to get rid of old accounts or disconnect services. I mean, a lot of things do that automatically, which is part of why this thing's such an issue is because I've always had like some form of Microsoft something. I mean, like grew up with Windows PC, had Windows accounts, used Microsoft Office, like the majority of people that I know. So, also while we're yammering, I was gonna build more on this skyscraper and make it into a sky. Yeah, let's keep doing that. But I need sand would work. Let's go ahead and toss. Um, dirt would be better. So let's see if we can take some dirt somewhere. Here we go. Basically for making the stairs. I just wanted to do the stairwell. I noticed like I was in there, it was raining. The rain was falling down on the villagers' heads, so maybe we could do something about that. But um, mind me just doing some construction while you sleep. So then also measuring like, okay, so it's you get up, there's a spot, and then you go. So get up, there's a spot, then you go. And then that. Also make it more efficient. Really, the tools should be all over there anyway. Oh, and I gotta say, it was really nice getting back into my realm, because, like, I haven't been there in a while. Let's see, one, two, three. And again, not really a big concern. Like, I'll get to it when I get to it. Alright, and then there's a spot, and then we can do another spot, and then the cycle starts all over again. So it's one, two, wait, one, two, three. Oh, ah, that was the wrong place. There we go. We'll just leave the stub there. So, we still need to finish the roof part. Oh, but yeah, so I got into my other account. It was just logged into another email that I had. And, like, I've already cut back on a couple of the old emails that I don't use. The email companies have closed, like, old accounts, or if they become inactive, Google now does this thing where it'll actually just disable your old account if you haven't signed into it for a long time. And a lot of things have been doing that too, like XApp, formerly known as Twitter, prunes bots regularly. Fake accounts or potentially dangerous accounts, like if accounts that have just been made and like haven't been signed into for a long time, one, two, three, four, and leave like a potentially dangerous situation. Ah, it was starting off good. And I think that's what it is. I mean, oh, first let's finish the second floor. That's what I was kind of worried about, the villagers getting rained on. Okay. Oh, and then this I gotta be careful of because, yep, cannot. Okay, that's probably good. It's acceptable. I mean, it's a lot better than it was. Like, they're sleeping there and they're getting rained on. Let's see. Oh. Plus, I like to think that now that we have this, unless there's wind and once we get the walls up, then that wouldn't even be an issue. Because we have this level completely filled. Well, not completely filled. There's still room for. Well, ugh, that's terrible. Ugh. This is not ideal apartment situations. This is one of those cases where it's more functionality over form. Although, this could be a model. Sorry, not to sound too messed up, but for the immigration crisis, like along the border, if you made facilities like this where it's like communals, like big, uh, large capacity size, like like they use for correctional situations and stuff. I mean, for very temporary stuff, like forced volunteering, you know, like weekenders, halfway houses, work release, alternative sentencing, basically. So, which a lot of places are moving more towards, like less prison incarceration, stuff like that, and more community corrections. Um, so there's already a bunch of people out there in America that are going to be there that are going through this very thing. So they would actually have bunk beds, like so one, two, three, four, and that is really about how close they are sometimes. Like I mean, maybe like two squares, but so and I was about to say tight pack versus loose pack, which little history quip, uh, slavery when we as American, not we, my generation of Americans, of course, but our history, you know. So just so nobody feels that there needs to be that. I feel like there shouldn't need to be that distinction. It's not like I was out there packing up slaves and bringing them. Although in this game, I'm manipulating the mechanics of the game to do stuff. I'm not treating these as complete people, although they are provided jobs, food, shelter. What I should do is make them even better shelter and improve their conditions if I really wanted to go that far. But these are just the basic needs. Okay, sorry. And then there's this experimentation. So like, you know, the whole the way that I like to use Minecraft, experimenting with the mechanics, just seeing like what happens, what does what. Anyways, enough of that. We could continue building the skyscraper. Oh, and then like I don't know. There are ways you can build elevators, but anyways, this idea for the border. Basically, anybody trying to come here and live in this country should, and if they don't meet other criteria, sorry, I shouldn't say like, although this should be an option that's acceptable, not like seen as like punishment or something. Basically, like a training camp. And even that even sounds bad, like, but you know, a training facility or a buffer zone for citizenship, for the pathway to citizenship, it would be a great buffer zone to where you could learn, say, like English, job skills, you know, all of the things that you would need. How do you do your taxes? How to get car insurance? How to, you know, update your driver's license? Like the things that you will need to know as a citizen. Otherwise, you're going to get in trouble and you're going to get fined and you're going to have a hard time surviving, well, thriving for sure, but even surviving in this country and then and not being a burden on the country as well too. And it's not that people are out there malicious like I'm not going to work and I'm going to make everybody pay for everything. And no, that's not like the average person's mindset. Not even close. What it is they come here for a better life, like I don't know, my ancestors did, and but then they get up against a really tough situation. Like it's without the proper resources, which and we're bending over backwards trying to provide resources for people going through hard times. Um, just because it is so convoluted, and every time, you know, well, not every time. Like there's good programs that work, but then they get shut down, and then they get tugged back this way and forth, and people think that for various reasons too. I shouldn't just like overgeneralize, and I like to think that a lot of this stuff comes with a grain of salt. That like you shouldn't take anything I say as like I don't know rote word. Like I don't think you should do that with anything. I mean, be skeptical with everything, but at the same time, not overly skeptical. Like I don't know. Wow, we're getting way off topic. The main news is I signed into my old account. I got my old world back. I played it for a while. It was great. Like I was like, oh, this is what I've been missing for a while. I mean, it wasn't like the best thing ever. I still got this, and this is fun. We've got options to be dynamic, to be adjustable or flexible, and that's what. Yeah. Oh, I'm really excited. Might be starting, or I got an idea forming for a nonprofit to help out a few different situations because there is like so there's a demand and there's a need, or there's a demand and there's a supply, basically. And now it's just a matter of linking the two together. And so the demand is all of the educational gap that COVID and the COVID reaction caused. So let's be honest. I mean, like whether you agree or not with the protocols that we used for the pandemic, I mean, you can't deny that a lot of people died. Now you can I know people argue like whether they died of COVID or whether they died of like complications like not really helped but worsened with COVID, which then that broadens the spectrum. I don't know. It's like not trying to pull a fast one on anyone, but basically it shut down a lot of things, school included, and now tech problems. And I work in IT. I could see that just a millionfold all over the world, like as people needed to start learning from home. So out of that actually fostered more remote work, and we're finding that a lot of our employees, or the employees in America, actually work better from home. They can get a lot more done, in the comfort of their own home. They're not distracted by anything. And they're comfortable too. That's the important thing. It's like, and myself included. I work hybrid. I work like half from home, half from work, and it's like constantly changing. But I still make sure that I get like a good amount of remote time because then I can get like caught up on a bunch of other projects and stuff. Whereas in-person time is good too. Like I'm fortunate enough to be close enough to my work where, you know, that's possible. But for some people, I've heard of people commuting an hour. I actually, shoot, I'm people. Shoot, sorry. I used to commute um, an hour to work at a ski resort. I was broke. Like, like having to, or well, I had friends that would carpool, and we were all kind of broke. We pitched together like what little we got paid for working up there, because it wasn't much. It was like minimum wage, and like, I mean, but we did get a ski pass, so that was the value, a $500 ski pass. That's about what it was, I think, for the 3 years that I worked up there. But or wait, no, maybe it was like closer to like 400 for the year. But and now I don't even want to know what it is. I haven't been snowboarding for like a few years. But anyway, my point being is like people will do it, and that was just to like work where I wanted. That was like a luxury job. And so, in fact, my car, that's what happened with the fuel pump is I let it go for so long that um, sediment settled in the fuel pump, and I had to get it replaced, and it died on me. Like ugh. So, anyways, hardships like not really all that bad. Like not nearly as bad as like some countries, and we're getting better. I mean, not everything is like mud huts and everything, like the kind of more racist thing. And I've been corrected too when I was talking about like how we need to help Africa. Well, yeah, no, a lot of Africa is all like tech current and and they're going through the same struggles we are though, like governments, like political decisions, boundaries, like you know, all of the above. So, because they're people will people. That's what I don't know. I think we're all slowly learning this. Like we're learning that people aren't animals or monsters or like just because they're from a certain place doesn't mean that no, they're I keep saying it like Neil deGrasse Tyson's said sometime the exact percentage of like how alike we are. Of course, that could have just been a fancy meme, but basically the idea is like um, on a biological level, we are all people to a percentage, and it's like upper 90s, like and so And we get that. Kind of. It's easier heard than understood for a lot of situations still because you get some confusion. That's where like some accidental racism starts happening where it's like, no, no, like I'm starting to think of them as a monster, animal, or creature. Maybe like a confusing or like advanced. So it's not always negative too. Sorry, a lot of that does sound like like a beast or like something like ignorant, stupid, or something like the subject of ridicule. No, it could also be like, oh, how strange, like nerds or smart people, or like overly smart in some people's opinions. Like they're not some alien species. Like no, they just had a better time paying attention. Like maybe they weren't hungry that day at school, or maybe they weren't thirsty, or maybe they didn't have to worry about that as much as say other kiddos. And not saying that like people out there are monsters. Again, it goes back to like, wait, how much do I guess the stairway should just remain open. Yeah. Well, I guess there's still, sorry, one block above. Oh, I guess that's created. Because then, you see, where in question here, it actually will be one block above right here. Well, here. Anyways, so it's a matter of allocating the resources needed to create a good civilization, a stable civilization, and help each other. And we're figuring out more and more how to do that. But like already, something I can point out with the U.S. is like our sanctions, our stranglehold on countries for whatever happened in the past. Like different regimes, different leaders, different and then I can see that being a lot of bureaucratic red tape and just slow delays on adjusting policies and being like, oh wait, no, let's loosen these sanctions. They're doing better, they're showing improvement, and being genuine about it too. But at the same time, it's like anyone who's got their arm twisted is not going to be happy about the change happening. But if they're allowed to change and then can show proof of it, more like the push versus pull concept. Like rather than are these pumpkin seeds? All right, well, we'll do some farming. Anyways, 'cause we could always use some bone meal, grow some trees, build some amazing structures. But basically, yeah, it's the slow to act solutions. Then it might make it appear like they're not good solutions for world peace and security projects. Basically, empowering and emboldening everybody in the world to be able to build their own stuff and get their own, because nobody likes to think of it as like handouts or charity or that's just kind of a thing that human nature. We also do not have room to be farming. Let me go dump some of this stuff, but yeah, let's do some farming. Let's go and dump, well, no. Let's see the tools. Dirt and sand, and this will be our general dumping area. Okay, and glass be like project and whatever I'm doing. So I do want, okay. Yeah, well no, we'll keep the seeds. Actually, wait. Sorry, just realizing what I need to do. There's a whole lot of undeveloped. That's what I could be doing. Sorry. There's a lot of undeveloped farm area over there. So for that, I actually need that bucket of water back. I could use 2 buckets of water. The pumpkin seeds. We can do some farming. We might as well fix it up over there. We need some kind of planks. I don't know. Let's see. Well, it actually looks like we're using diorite, polished diorite. So we'll keep up with that theme. Get these back. We're gonna need a lot more than that though. Only have 2 there, so hence the mining and all that. See, I'm like reconstructing my own thought process of where I was at. We're also going to need some tools, which means, or some hoe. We're going to need a few of those. Okay. Let's actually keep this stack of stone there. Huh. Alright. Oops. Don't need that there. Let's go ahead and burn out these two. Okay. And another bucket. Do I have another bucket? We can limp along with one. That's fine. Alright. So before we go too far, let's first assess where we're at. So we've got, one, two, pretty good fields. We need enough of these so we can do that. Already, I think. Oh, it looks like that is where we're at. In fact, we're just now covering the floor of that, so we need a lot more diorite. So let's go ahead and do as much as we can here. Oh wait, no, this isn't right, because then if you do this, or can you do that? Ah. Oh. But it's still not right because the way that we've been doing it. Actually, I guess I haven't over here, but the way that I usually do it is I have it dropping down one, because then I can put this floor here. Yeah. So it would actually be, can even do this. Well, go ahead and break all of these. Okay. Yep. A lot of work to be doing on this one. So, I mean, it really doesn't matter. The realms, I'm just excited for the realms because then, like, I do have a few more people, like, trying to get together on, like, the whole world. So once I get that going, then we can have, like, that whole civilization. Have, like, multiple things. So there might be, like, changes that other people are doing. Like, which is kind of funny because it's kind of like a paranoia thing. Like, people are changing things or, like, or little gnomes are like moving things on you, and like, it kind of like stories I don't know. I feel like there's been a lot of stories similar to that, being like, just like insanity and like, I know I've seen memes, I know I've seen jokes, heard jokes about it, but anyways, this is what I was saying is we can limp along. Okay, you put it just right, and you can just do this. Now, once this water, and this water is kind of overkill, you only need it once every 8 spaces. Yeah, I think you can have 8 spaces in between, because each water block is good for 4 blocks away, and then you have another water block 4 blocks away, so you have 8 blocks in between each one, which I believe is actually the same for redstone. So when you're building rail cars, that's why I usually count 8 and then I put another one, is because it powers 4 blocks away, like water charges 4 blocks away, or saturates 4 blocks away. And see, that pumpkin is a nice little stopper. Okay. I mean, technically I could use pumpkins for the base until I have enough diorite, but for now we can actually go ahead and burn out some of these things. And this is how many pumpkin seeds we can also use. And technically, so we can go 1, 2, 3, 4. So that should, I think, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. This one should stay saturated, so we can also do this. But then, I'll go ahead and show you well, 1, 2, 3, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. I was going to say, I could show you what happens if I do this one and that one, they'll disappear, but we'll come back and we'll be able to count pumpkin being 1 and 2, 3, 4. Oh, or you can just see it right there. Now also, we can go as far out as 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that's not all that significant on this side because I don't have a lot of dirt blocks there. But on this side, we can do it. 1, 2, and then that. Because 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. Alright. Oh, so anyways, back to the nonprofit. So I'm excited about that because it's going to try to address a few things and work in conjunction with like social services, whatever reintegration services, like, I don't know, existing things. So if anything, it's just going to be like how can we be of help? What can we be doing? And at the same time, doing research and invest. Oh, whoa, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, that just made me think that maybe there could have been a glitch out because like I'm seeing all of this stuff is becoming saturated. That's why I started counting again. But the fact that those two weren't tilled. Now these I can understand. There's no blocks here. Anyways, sorry, the nonprofit. So Twitch tutoring. I mean, Twitch already has structure in place for stay-at-home tutors to do exactly that. And we have a gap in education from kids that were affected by school closures, and then the corresponding tech issues with trying to learn from home. Like, it's not something easily done, especially for parents that they were in between like work. Like, a lot of people were essential, a lot of people weren't. Like, oh, see, like, I feel like that I might have just stumped on. I don't know. Who knows? But anyways, so there's a there's a need, there's a demand, but at the same time, yeah, see that one. Maybe it didn't saturate in time. I don't know. But anyway, oof, we have so many seeds. Okay. But like a good solution, this is more of a pull versus push type business model. So rather than charging people up front for the educational costs, you get to see what works for you, and then you can tip the educator. The educator just gets paid purely on tips as a Twitch streamer. Now, Twitch streamers, for those of you that aren't familiar with the whole process, for the most part, people start off with trying to make money eventually. Now, you need like tens of thousands of followers. Um, I mean, yeah, some do it to influence, but most people are just seeing if they can work from home and play video games all day and entertain people. Well, then they find out it's actual real work. You gotta, like you gotta engage in a lot of conversations. People will tip you when they feel like you're interacting with them, but at the same time, you're providing, good content. Anyways, my point being is there's definitely a pretty good business model there. I mean, and for the people that stick it out and do it and like figure out how to be entertaining and how to be good to their fans and all the stuff that like even just Hollywood is I criticize Hollywood a lot, but the fact of the matter is like it's not their fault for having this like hyperinflated economy that's also offsetting the rest of American and the world expectations and such. Hollywood and Wall Street, like, oops, I don't want to. Although that would just clog up here and wouldn't even matter. See, we can just do that. It doesn't matter. You can have non-things in there. Anyways, sorry. But there are ways to do it. And then while we're on that subject, like ways to, so there's things that can be taught, and they're like talked about, discussed remotely, and then there's things that need to be done in person, like building new housing projects for people that need it. Anyone, doesn't matter. Just like building affordable, very affordable housing projects, like affordable and appealing too. Now, it's hard because a certain point, there's going to be a certain point of ick. Like, there's going to be a certain amount of like, people living in despair and poverty for a while, like, not being the safest with substances. I mean, legal or illegal. I'm not condoning illegal use, but at the same time, like, understanding that there is going to be illegal use, and even up until a certain point, cannabis was illegal. So, keep that in mind. It still is federally. So, like, the whole line of like what's right and what's legal, we're working on it, and it's making progress. But, you know, even the stuff like we need to address how we approach what is illegal, like how we punish. I mean, throwing decades, several years for messing up, for, doing these things. I mean, at least the way it's being done. So that right there, if programs could be developed that could serve as alternatives for these things like community corrections and halfway houses and things that we are using more and more of, well, then there you go. There's your and not to sound all crazy, like, not crazy, sorry, not to sound like I'm suffering mental illness or a period of mental illness, but the devil doers and the angelic tutors, like, it was kind of like the idea a while ago, but it is just a very realistic thing. Like, there need to be people teaching, and not, like, and people that are good at it, people that are reformed, refined, like, they have the experience of this, so I don't know. I feel like it's already happening. Like, if you watch a bunch of Twitch streams and YouTube streams, like, just the streamers, they're very good at socializing. They're good at helping with social problems when people are having bad days or they want to start trolling around. Like, I mean, as long as they don't troll too much, like, there's definitely a line. But people are figuring out better ways to communicate. Be like, oh, I'm having a rough day, or like, and people are like, oh, and they'll talk about it. And depending on how big the streamer is, which was kind of disappointing for me. I like a lot of the Viva La Dirt League stuff, and a lot of the actors in it, they stream. But I went into a couple, and like the smaller ones, yeah, sure, they actually talk with the viewers. But then for the bigger ones, it's someone talking for them, which understandable. When you start getting like thousands of people talking at you, you like literally can't play the video game, and then you're not as entertaining. Then you're just kind of like trying to keep up with all these things. So I get it. It's like having a call center for your stream. like and it makes sense too, because yeah, look at that, we're just loading those up. Sometimes I like to see, like, measure how many, but I'm never really all that accurate. See if we took it out like right now, like how much bone meal. Oh, there's the alarm. And I have this in my other world. I have like a whole bunch of them side by side in parallel with a chest, the chest, the hoppers, and this little contraption to convert excess produce into bone meal, which that's a lot. I have like at least four. And that's like an experiment I did once upon a time. I don't know if I recorded it, but either way, just the idea. Like, the ideas you can do in your own Minecraft world. Like, see, and that's science too. That's scientific observation. Like, how fast or at what rate does a stack of pumpkin seeds, degrade? We could actually time it, and then, it takes this long or this many clock cycles or whatever unit of measurement. Or we could say, like, which is faster, a stack of pumpkin seeds or a stack of normal seeds. What are just seeds? Seeds versus pumpkin seeds, so like wheat seeds, and then how much is a stack of sugarcane? Anyways, that's a half hour. That's the login issues are no longer issues, but they are kind of, because today it's still acting slow. But once I just give it enough time, I'm sure it'll work. I was in there playing around last night, and visiting my old world. So, but I might play in this one too. So like I said, we got the skyscraper going. So anyways, ta-ta for now. I'll see you in the next one. Hope you enjoying the musings.